What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Action Not Included. In this episode, we'll be working on getting our oil boiler going. Between this episode and the last episode, I got distracted watching the 2025 Game Awards. So like 3 hours or so had passed. I had set them to just kind of sweep up and clean up the base, but they did a lot more than just that. They actually got a lot of our backlog of things done. So we got our little ranch farm for foxes done. We started getting the second Mammoth ranch going. We still need to finish its little incubation room set up. What else did we get done? We broke back into here to turn everything into ceramic because we had one of the pipes break, and we got some ethanol in there, but it appears that that is now gone. I think it got crushed by the steam, but we switched all that to ceramic just to help prevent that from happening again. Actually, we need to switch that to ceramic. Oh. Okay, so we'll just deconstruct that one and rebuild it as ceramic. But anyways, yeah. We got our cooling loop for sweet wheat put in. We got our cooling loop for our oxygen installed. Our iron volcano is all finally done and set and running. As you can see, our little cooling brick down here is trying to cool, and we got water to help keep things from overheating. And we got our dual aqua tuner setup, one to cool the turbines, one to cool the actual iron itself. So we reclaim as much of that heat back in as possible. Our dual hatch ranch over here is working out really great. We're just swamped in coal. As you see, we got like 60 tons of coal now, so coal is not an issue. So what we really need to do is kind of just refocus our efforts down here into the oil biome, tap into as many of the oil reservoirs as we possibly can, and get this minor volcano all tamed up and hooked up and ready to go for our oil boiler. So that's pretty much going to be the main focus of today's episode, really, is to try to get this established and going so that we can quit fumbling around with no power, basically. We do have the fertilizer system up and running. They got that all built and installed and everything. Turns out you need like 9 fertilizers running at all times to power one natural gas generator, I believe it is. Was it 90? Yeah, 90 grams. These spit out 10. We only have 6, so we don't quite produce enough to fully run one natural gas generator, but it's at least, consistent natural gas, better than no natural gas. So we got that going. So, I mean, we have intermittent power. We kind of have like rolling brownouts. So the goal is to basically just get petroleum going so that way our petroleum generators are just, permanently loaded up with petroleum, and that's going to be our main power for most of this playthrough until we get to space and we start making some, end game resources. Then, possibly switch to like a natural or a sour gas boiler. Possibly also maybe double down our efforts in trying to gain this geothermal pump up and running. because realistically that's just like free steam power once we can get it up and running. But the thing that was really kind of holding us back on that was basically just steel and, refined resources to make more generators to hook up to all of the these little geo vents. So once we get that done, we'd be able to use that. But I really want to focus on this boiler first, clean up the bottom of the map, get some of these fluids dealt with and stuff and whatnot. So but yeah, no, I was thinking about using all of this heat down here, but it feels kind of pointless at this point, simply because we just have this volcano here. It's just constantly can keep producing maximum heat. So, but yeah, let's get into laying this thing out. So we need to go 9 tiles from there. Oh, is it there or is it going to be here? Oh, that's... I want to say it's going to be from here. So let's go 9 tiles from there. And the reason why I'm measuring out 9 tiles and not 10 is because that's where I'm going to end my wall. So I know where to bring it down. Because on the 10th, that's where it should kind of like drip at. And put a door there. And we put another door there. There, that should build that. We're to vacuum this whole thing out anyways. So let's just set that to dig. Some obsidian ladders. We're going to need to relocate this water line. So I think we'll just kind of rip it all up. It all just needed to kind of get reworked. Realistically, I feel like we should just be feeding this into the geothermal heat pump at this point, to be honest. Just, yeah. But, don't get distracted. Focus on one thing at a time. We'll get this done. Get this laid out. Now, do we want that here? I do believe we want that there, dumping. Out. We're gonna be using aluminum, so I don't think we only need to go like 3 loops high. I don't even think the loops need to be that long. I think they need to be like 8. I think it's 8. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 8. I think it needs to be 8 sections. So let's actually go with that being there, yeah, we'll stick it 3. No, we'll go with 2. Yeah, we'll keep that like that, and then we should just be able to run gold obsidian. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one would be 8 here. We drop it down. One, 2, 3. So it should come this way from here. And now it needs a place to dump. So that's pretty much that whole thing right there. Comes through, kind of loops up, loops around. Yeah, okay. All right. And then we want diamond. Wait, do we want, yeah. I knew I was doing something wrong. Steel. We want the door here. We want this here. That there, and a more diamond here. And I know we need kind of like this section open. Yes, this thing's just kind of crazy and complicated. Alright. Okay, you guys are officially trapped. No, I don't think you guys are trapped. I think you guys should. How are you? Okay, so you can climb over to here. Oh, you guys are kind of trapped. It's right here. I was thinking you guys could get out right there. And success. Now they're free. Correct. Follow them along. Make sure, yep. Okay, they can make it back. Perfect. Now I can access this from both sides. Go with obsidian. Actually, we need this to be a little bit wider, and I feel like it needs to be a little bit deeper or deeper. We'll just do both. And now, take our aluminum. So we want to, we probably want to stop it right about here. I'm going to go with some insulated pipe. Actually, no, we should make that steel. We need another steel mechanized door. We need it right there. So we're going to end up building down here. Kind of at the bottom of it is a little catch for the igneous rock. And we're going to try sucking it, using it to as like a little preheater for the oil. And then the oil will come and loop through and come up and through here and preheat as the petroleum goes the other way and goes into the pump. And what we're going to want to do is we're also going to use this as a infinite igneous rock farm to feed the stone hatches. And then basically we're just going to set up a little conveyor to go from here, and we're going to push it over to here, and we're going to set it up so that way it just automatically feeds the hatches without the ranchers having to come over and do it. I'm not quite sure exactly where we're going to put it. I think we might put it maybe somewhere around here and just redo the automation wiring. Or maybe here. Yeah, we'll be able to put it, find a spot where we can squeeze it in at where the auto sweeper can still reach it. But yeah, okay, so right now we just kind of need to wait on them to get the whole thing built. You can move to here, right? Yes. But why do you keep running back over there, though? What's so special about over there? Okay, and there we go. Who is Star? Okay, it was Travado. Alright, you should make it back in plenty of time. Oh yeah, we don't have enough power for the whatchamacallit, for the tube transit. Okay, that should be dealt with. Now we're gonna need steel. Okay. Is that, yeah, thermal sensors right here. Put another one, another steel one right there. And we need another steel one right there. Let's see. I do know. Is that in utilities? No. Refinement? No. Automation? No. I am looking for, the robo miner. It's in shipping. Do we want it there or do we want it back one? I feel like here is the right spot. Alright. So we have a ton of fluids. We're going to pump out of here first. Just depending on how I want to design this, that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, they want to put that there. And then we'll put another aqua or another temperature sensor there. We're gonna fill this little block with like water or something so you can detect the temperature. And put a piece of diamond over it, and then when the water reaches like a certain temperature, we'll have it like vacuum out the old igneous rock and then shove it along. There, we'll go with insulated tile. Okay. I'm just running it like that because I want it to interact with as little of the outside world as possible once we start heating it up. So this is the robo miner that we need to cool. That I think we're gonna run like a liquid, a separate liquid loop for it, and tie it into this cool steam vent to just make use of it. Get more water essentially. Can never go wrong with more water. I mean, it's either that or we find some weird way to like pump the steam into here to get heated up by the rest of that steam. And I feel like that would just be a bigger pain in the butt. Oh, I mean, I guess we could just put like some steel gas pumps in there and then pump it up into here. I still kind of like the idea of using it as a way to like cool part of our oil boiler. Yeah, so I think I'm still gonna stick with that idea. But yeah, okay, so I believe that should be most of it. I do need to hook up a little bit more automation here, but realistically, it's just kind of like a hurry up and build. So I'm going to do a little like cut montage, and I'll be back after they're done getting it built and stuff. Just concentrating really hard and getting all that fluid and swept up and mopped up and cleaned up. As you can see, we got it mostly done. Just need to do a few more priority mops. Close that back up. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to... that's where we can actually just put this here, break that, and then put this here. That still allows access in there, while also still letting us vacuum it all out. So this wants a little bit of, got some crude oil. All right. So I will see you guys after we get this all kind of cleaned up and get ready to vacuum it out. Alright, so we're almost to the... oh, wow. Sorry about that. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, so we're almost to the point where we need to kind of turn this whole big thing into a vacuum. We got 2 pumps, we got the gas line hooked up to it. We're just kind of waiting for them to get built out and deliver some more oil over here to actually form our liquid lock. And once that happens, I feel like we'll be in a pretty good shape. We just need more oil. It's kind of the thing that's holding us up right now. We are slowly getting a trickle of ceramic in. We could get that, you know, just get made faster. We'd be done. But until then, this is not going to be able to be done. But we can at least get it all vacuumed out and prepped and ready and, you know, as close as we can. You know, I knew something was a little off. But there we go. Complete the loop. There's something missing. Just checking to see if there's anything else. We'll just set to all standard. Do we have... We do not have it coming out yet. Okay. That's definitely something we want to get finished up beforehand. bring that out with some steel. And this should be, yeah, this is looking pretty good to me. We got a little bit of oil on there, so it's interacting between the rubber miner and the metal tile. We're cooling the metal tile down, so that should do a pretty good job. Is this not connected somewhere? No, that's connected there. That's connected there. This comes down, connects to there. This connects to here. Correct? Like this is, yep. And then it shows that it should be connected there. Oh. Ever since I gave them an extra block of downtime, so they must not have been having enough time to go and eat and everything. Are these complaining because they look built? Like, what is... Why is this not getting any power? I don't understand. Alright, let me figure this out and I'll be back. And if I can figure it out, I'll tell you what is wrong. Okay, I figured out the problem. We did not have enough power being generated. Oh, hiccups, please just go away. Oh. We did not produce enough power generated to power the large power transformer, which is why it was not turning on. But we got it on now. We are now pushing all of our gases up and out. We're actually just going to separate that for the moment. This can kind of fill up. Probably should have put like a sensor or something in there, but I wasn't worried about it. And this all looks properly done up. We're getting ceramics slowly but surely. Guys, like, plunger the toilet. You know what? What's your strength at? Yeah, okay. Entry level +5. I don't think... Yeah, no, that's maybe 2 to 3. So I was correct in that they do get strength from plunging out the porta johns or the outhouses. It takes a while, but they do get strength. Let's see. Yeah, your strength is also a 5, and there is no way. Yeah, you see, you have no interest or anything in anything that gives strength, so you straight up got a +5 in skill. That's pretty good. Okay, so I was not going crazy. Oh, where'd you make a mess? Are you not making a mess now? Okay. And now we got power situated. Everything seems to be rerunning well. We have some cleared oxygen getting here, and it kept pumping in, and it broke all of our gas generators, and it was just it ended up being this big fiasco. But we got it now, and that's what matters. Better sooner, or better later than never. Let's see, and then this side we're gonna want to do something with this up here. I don't even want to put it. Yeah, I feel like right there should be good. Yeah, okay, so we'll make that the out. And we'll go like that, just for loop consistency. And then now we need a thermal sensor. And we're getting all the gas pumped out. This is liquid locked here, liquid locked here. We should be able to put that there. It's going to take a while for it to get emptied out, but that's okay. The natural gas geyser's running. Our generators are back up and running, so we should be fine for long enough to get this done. But I will see you guys once this is all done getting kind of vacuumed out and we're ready to turn it on. I only pulled the vacuum. It only took, forever and a day. But there was a lot to vac. So we had to back out all this. It took a while for it to catch up. But now we have it done. We don't have to worry about it. So now it's time to start sealing up everything so that way we can make sure we aren't in need of anything, like repairing that. Okay. We should be making steel now. Yep, we're still making clay over here at our little clay factory from the fluid oxygen. So, I mean, this is super useful. It's slow, but it's useful. You notice we already have 4 tons of ceramic. So, it does slowly pay for itself. Alright, perfect. Now hopefully we can get some fluids in that loop. And we can deconstruct that right there and they should be able to complete it. And then we should be able to steal petroleum from over here. Like so. Yeah, I was hoping they'd be able to cut that open and get that done. Okay, so as soon as we get our petroleum in our coolant loop, we will be all set to try to get this thing up and running. I just want to get it done before this overheats again. Which we can solve that by just killing the power to it. And that should help it not overheat quite as bad. I'm not sure how I'm going to get back in here if this breaks and I have to pump it back out. I think I might end up having to put like another liquid lock right around in this area somewhere and then just end up vacuuming this whole area out. But we'll have to see. But that is probably more than likely what's going to happen. And because, we have horrible luck, let us preemptively get that done. just use a little, a little tiny plastic pump, like the mini pump. Yeah, okay, I will be back as soon as we get some petroleum in that coolant line. So, it is almost that magical time of firing up this oil boiler. What we've gotten done, waiting for the dupes to get like the ceramic made and a few other things, we finally got this cooling loop installed and filled up with petroleum. You can see it's looping through. We got it going through a couple of these, what are they? They're the conduction panels to keep everything in a vacuum kind of cool. We have it going through this metal tile, which is in contact with the RoboMiner, which is also in contact with a tiny bit of oil to help siphon more heat off of it and put it and bleed it into this aluminum to then be bled away by our cooling loop. Normally, you would use the oil that you're piping into the boiler as a coolant, but because we have this steam turbine here, I was trying to be a little cheeky and using that as our place to dump that excess heat. We will have to see if that's a good idea or not. If it's not that big of a deal to change it. We can just push this pipe into here and then bring it up and kind of start the loop this way by just bringing this oil up over and tying it in here, and then having the oil go through this little cooling system. But it should hopefully work out just fine, and keeping everything that needs to be cooled, and everything else. But yeah, that's the liquid system. The oil comes in, initially sucks in some heat from the spent igneous rock that gets dropped down here, and it goes through this pipe up, and then it comes into contact what will eventually be a filled location of petroleum. It'll counterflow going up and around, and then come out and dump down onto our little boiling hot plate. And then, it'll flash from crude oil to petroleum and then flow the opposite direction of back and into our pump. Which, thankfully, now that I'm looking at it, I just realized I totally forgot to actually plug in. So, that could have been a major problem. I'm glad we noticed these things before we actually get going, because that could have been a catastrophe. Alright, so we're going to break back into here. We're going to deconstruct that. We have a couple of liquid locks with some vacuums, for just in case something like that happens. As you can see, I have another little liquid lock here with some oil. This whole area is vacuumed out, so if we needed to come in and service the boiler section itself, we can. Which, obviously we needed to, because I forgot the most important part. Getting the petroleum out of the boiler. And then the petroleum will come through, follow this pipe, come down, come up, and gain access to our power grid. And then whatever else we potentially want to use for cooling. But yep, and we'll run up, and then we will no longer have a power deficit. It will take a moment for everything to kind of get up and running, but one of the things that we can do is we can actually uncover the volcano. and start getting magma in here. And hopefully this is big enough or short enough, depending on how we need to look at it, to actually work. But let's get them up and running and see how that goes. Of course. Oh yeah, and in the meantime, we did come down and drill a hole and a ladder down to the geothermal pump, so that way we can start pumping our wastewater into it. I do believe we need to actually pump our heated petroleum into there first. And the reason why I believe we need to pump our heated petroleum in there is because the petroleum should get hot enough to stay liquid, but yet melt this lead clog, or unclog the geo vent, basically. I'm not a huge fan of this one down here, and it's just because it is surrounded by what would have been potentially magma. So I think we will try using these two last and focus on using this one up here if we do use it. But yeah, no, that is what we need to do. Oh, did we have to wait? Was it not? Okay, now it's ready. Alright. I was wondering what was going on. I was like, come on now. I could have sworn that this is how this works. And realistically, we wouldn't even need the water sieve or anything anymore. We would just need to run the steam turbines into the oil wells, reservoirs. Yeah, no, we'll also need to analyze this, because it's clearly dormant right now, which is kind of good for us because we realistically want to be able to analyze it while it's dormant. Plus chances of the deep smelting from the magma. But hopefully it's not dormant for long. If it is dormant, then we'll probably have to wait until the next episode or two for it to actually fire up. But yeah, oh yeah, we need to talk about the automation. I knew there was something else I wasn't talking about. So we got a memory toggle down here. All of this is made out of steel, every single part of it. If you don't make it out of steel, it will melt. Just plain and simple. Steel or better. So we got our main output, which is our thermosensor. It's set to below 420 Celsius. And when the magma that will eventually solidify into igneous rock gets below 420, this will send a green signal telling the robo miner to mine. Apparently I forgot to tie that in. Okay, tell the robo miner to mine, and as long as it's been 25 seconds or more, that's why I have this, come on filter gate. That's why I have this filter gate set to 25 seconds, so as long as this is sent its signal for 25 seconds, it'll pass through, come up, activate the doors. The doors will open. This will open up our little, basically what I would call our magma shot, which is 2 tiles. It'll drop 2 tiles down. It'll interact with everything and heat up. And this door will open and let the old magma igneous rock that's been mined out. And 25 seconds is basically just the timer to give the auto miner enough time to mine the igneous rock and to let it fall down and out of the way. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That is how this basically works. Magma generally flows about 10 tiles and then stops, which is why we basically are going to consider this area our storage, and then this will be what most people call the magma blade. And the tip should come out to about here. That's what I'm hoping for. But, we will only find out once it's all finally up and running, if that's true. We want this set to send green signal if above 450. Actually, I believe we probably want to change that to like 420. So you don't get any weird like fluttering going on. But yeah, no, that is our petroleum boiler. And as soon as our science dupe comes back, what was our science dupe's name again? Ellie. As soon as Ellie comes back and finishes analyzing this volcano, we'll know how many cycles until we get to find out if this thing works. If it's a super long time, then I'll just make a new episode. If it's not, then we will forge ahead and get this all primed up and ready to go. We do end up running. Our focus will be getting everything tied into the geo heat pump so we can start getting this thing up and running and purifying our water. So that's going to be next episode's goal. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. Yeah, I guess we could work on building this. Roughly like that. And then we can slap down a steam vent, or not a steam vent, steam turbine. One should be more than enough. Are we not? We did not make that long enough. Alright. I mean, that's okay. We can just bump it out like so. And then put... we'll make it out of aluminum because we don't need to worry about that. And there. We'll go with iron since we have infinite iron. Okay, we're done analyzing. How long we got? We got 63.4 cycles. Awesome. That means it basically just went dormant. Son of a... That's a little annoying. Okay. Alright, so it looks like we have quite a bit of waiting before we can actually test this to make sure that we built it right. Which, hopefully we did, because if we didn't, that is going to suck. So, until then, we're just going to seal it all up. We will ban dupes from going in there, because we realistically don't need them going in there anymore. So if they're going in there, something is wrong. Something broke. Let's make sure we got everything else emptied out of here. It looks like it. Yep, no, we're gonna get all that all done. Yeah, no, perfect. And now this should be our combination cooling loop for our oil boiler and taming a cool steam geyser. Because taming one of these cool steam vents is just a pain in the butt. It really is. Because you either gotta heat up the steam or cool the steam. But either way, you have to inject some sort of heat or cooling solution into it, which kind of sucks. It's way easier to deal with something that's, super hot or something that's super cold versus something that's kind of in between and it's not really realistically usable, I guess would be the best way to put it. So, this is kind of like the best case scenario, to be honest. Because at the very least, it's, it can have a function, which is cooling our boiler down. Oh, you know what we didn't do as part of our loop is we did not even once consider how to cool this stuff. Okay. I knew there was something we were missing here. I knew it wasn't complete. Alright. But I'm gonna get this all done up. Real fast like. We'll just dump that there. No. We do not want Cinnabar. Oh, game, you are trying. We'll go with steel. It was trying real hard to shaft it. Alright, there we go. Alright, well, with that being said, we clearly have a long time to wait. We should get working on getting this up and running. So that will be it for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to like and subscribe.